Hello everyone, how are you doing today? This is Dr. Sumer Sethi with my pep talk for you today. And today I will address a concern which, once you understand, will help you form perspective into your own life right now. And it will also help you to see the entire, your life so far and what is happening to you today in a different perspective. I'll give you a background to what I'm going to talk about today. Recently, I met this boy. He was a damn student since his third year MBBS. He joined us in Maharashtra for his PG entrance exam, and he was a very focused, very bright, and a very enthusiastic student. He got into his MS and he did his surgery MS from Maharashtra, and then he prepared for his MCH onco surgery course from a DAMS course again. And this time he ended up doing getting a rank 1 in the MCH entrance exam. And I was talking to him and I said, what was the hurdle that you were facing in your preparation at this moment? Usually when we are at a junior level, the hurdles might be, lack of proper guidance, lack of content, and lack of exam skill. But when we reach to a higher and higher level, the problems are more in the mind and more in the perspective. Now, his answer was, the most important difficulty or most important hurdle that I faced in this entire scenario was keeping myself motivated enough to study further, because I'm already moderately successful. I'm already a surgeon and I can actually earn my livelihood and get settled down being whatever I am. And, to convince myself of the need to study further was the biggest challenge. Now when I look back, I find a parallel in different people's life. Now imagine when you were in school, you had a lot more fire to get into it, because you could see a clear cut threshold that, okay, if I get into medical profession, my life would be into a different track altogether. And you were like conditioned into giving it all you had. And I see many people, when they enter the medical school, they falter because the zeal to achieve more reduces because they feel that they are already successful. A similar thing, you might have observed, happens when you are from a affluent family. The hunger for getting into something sometimes reduces because you actually you're not feeling hungry enough to get to the next level. So what is happening is, I always feel that to get something, to when you want to reach to a zone which is categorized as high achievement, we need that hunger, we need that fire in the belly, we need passion. And what happens is that is e- doable when you are chasing it for the first time. Like, for example, like I'll give you an example from your own lives, that when you were in school, you were really hungry about getting into the medical school. But once you are there, you already you start feeling that, okay, I've already achieved something, and I'm in an achievement zone. While life is asking you to constantly evolve, and life is asking you to constantly upgrade yourself, and that is the truth about life, is to expand, we want to seek more constantly. But you tend to get confused because you already feel that you're in an achievement zone. Just imagine, like, this is like it happens with a lot of us. Like, imagine, post your you do your engineering, you do your management school, you get into a job which pays you good, gives you a car, pays rent for your house. Many people, they would be more than satisfied with it, and what would happen is they would stop seeking more. And that is the entire zone, which is the second landmark in your life. The first landmark was when you were hungry, you wanted to win, you gave it all, you won. But the second landmark is reinventing yourself. This reinvention is the key, and this is required at a certain age group where you find yourself already in the successful zone. You're already successful as far as people are concerned. Like, you're already a doctor, you're already an engineer, you're already successful. Now, most people are calling you successful. Your school is inviting you to talk to juniors. You're already a winner. But the true winner in life has to constantly innovate, reinvent, refix the targets, re push himself or herself into the next level. And that is where, conditioning of your mindset, or conditioning of your perspective really makes a difference. Now, what I really want you to believe today is success is not a destination. And when you start looking at success as a destination, you start looking at it as a landmark that I reach there, I will become successful. While the success to me is a journey where you have to constantly innovate and constantly reinvent, unlearn what you've learned so far, and then push yourself harder to get to the next level. The success is not the level, success is that journey of self improvement to get to the next level. It might be more difficult to understand at this age, at this moment right now, but I want you to recalibrate your mind. Now imagine, now I met this student of mine. Right now he is a senior practitioner right now. I met this student of mine in a hotel, and he came to meet me and said, sir, I don't feel the fire, I don't feel the hunger anymore. I want to do more in life, but I don't feel the drive. And then that made me think, what drives us to do more? Definitely, one of them is need. Need is one of the most important drivers of innovation, drivers of hard work. We need, like somebody needs to fulfill the food needs of his family, or shelter needs of your family. You want to pay for education of your children. Need is clear cut. You need to work hard so that you can meet the needs. The problem becomes, begins when you are in a zone where the needs are met. You need, and you want more out of it, but somehow you're not able to push yourself. And that is where there is a role of passion. If there is something that really interests you, now this is what I tell students also sometimes. They like, he says, sir, I talked to that student himself that I was talking about today. He said, sir, now it was not my need, I'm already a surgeon, it was not my need to get into oncology, but it was my passion, because I was so excited about the field. That drove me, and that gave me the extra impetus required to get into the rank 1, into the top zone, into the top institutes, into the top band of achievers. And I feel, for all of us today, it is important to understand the difference between the children who were, people like us who were children in 1980s and 90s, and children who were, in the teenage in 2000s. And there's a difference between the each of these decades. Now, before 1990, in India, we had a zone of scarcity of resources. Like, there were hardly any source of entertainment available, hardly any source of, not, in my colony at that time, only one household had a car, and most of us had a scooter only. And this was how the things were. So everybody was working hard to, because of need, and that was very easy to explain. The parents could explain to children very easily that, but if you don't work hard, you will not get out of this shit that you are in. And it was easy to understand, everybody could see it. But in the early 2000s, we have an era where there are things which are happening automatically. Can you imagine now? You don't need to walk down to a restaurant to get some food for home. You can just do it on Zomato. You can order things on Amazon. There's so many things which are taken care of. You don't need to. I don't know how many of you actually stood in a line to buy milk for your family. I have. In my time, we used to stand in a queue to get that, half a liter, like 2 liter. I don't know if you are aware of it. There were token system. You put that token into Mother Dairy, then get milk, come back. And today you have things like Grofers doing it for you. People are doing it for you at no cost at all. Now imagine the world has eased out. Imagine now sitting. Imagine how easy it is for you to switch on a TV and be exposed to plethora of entertainment. For us, it was just on 8:40 you could see news, and I think 9 o'clock some TV serial, nothing else. So we've seen that transition of generation who could understand that there is a need to work hard, and suddenly we see a transition where the need, why should I work hard, like imagine now telling a child of today's generation, why he was so why should I remember anything that my school is teaching me, because it is all easily googleable, I can just put it on Google and get an answer anytime, why should I remember any shit? And that makes sense actually. So the world is changing, the needs are changing, and so to create a drive for a modern child based on traditional needs is no longer valid. It's like these are the children who are used to things happening. It's not like you know they can't imagine, like say the kind of walking down to, or like hanging on a DTC bus. They can't you see that happening. This is the metro is already there. Things are there, and we take all this for granted. So that is where I feel in today's world it is more important to also tell children that you need to work hard to achieve your passion as well. It is not always for need. It's like I'm working hard. Just not This is not just because this is my need. No, not only my need. It is also my passion to teach and talk to students and inspire them. If I'm able to touch your life, it gives me a kick that nothing else would. Like suppose you give me a message back and say, Dr. Sumer, after listening to your pep talk, I got inspired to seek more in life. It gives me a satisfaction, a high, a kick. It tells me that okay, I'm doing something worthwhile. I'm leaving a legacy behind in form of your achievements. So I think there are drivers which are far more stronger than need. Need is one. There's no denying that. If you need money, you would work hard. That is as simple as that. If you want to put food on the table for your family, you need to work hard. That's for taken. But beyond that, we also need drivers like passion. You're really passionate about some kind of a surgery. I met this boy recently. He said, "Sir, right from my first day in medical school, I have been interested in brain and neurology, neurosciences." And this boy is doing neurosurgery in Namhans now. So I keep meeting these people who are driven by passion. And I think it's very, very important to find your zone as well. It's very important to find what drives you. And if you're unable to find, keep seeking. Keep seeking till the time you find your mind resonating to the cause. I always keep talking about things like nudges. When you will find yourself in the zone where you're truly enjoying yourself, it might happen to you in the orthopedics department in your internship, it might happen to you in the radiology department during your final year, it might happen to you in one of your jobs. It's like you sometimes get to a zone where you start feeling that I belong here. It is similar to what happens in relationships as well. Sometimes you meet somebody, you feel resonating, you find that okay, this is where I belong. And if you find yourself in this zone where you lose count of time, like for example, to me, it was teaching. Teaching is my zone. When I'm teaching, I lose count of time. And stick on to it. Like if you find yourself in a zone where you are truly enjoying yourself, stick to that zone. Then you will not need an artificial push. You will not need a driver to push you further. I hope this pep talk today helps you find perspective, find your why, find what drives you, and gives you an ability to go after what truly matters in your life. I hope this helps you. If it does, do write to me on my Telegram or my Instagram. Let me know that that this small talk helped you or it matters to you, because if it matters to you, it makes my day. I wish you all the best.